Hello.
Wagwan.
Yes, we're back for a very festive video
Ho ho fucking ho.
on account of the Doctor Who Christmas special, uh,
It's the most
which is called
wonderful time.
Church on Ruby Road.
I don't even fucking know what it was called. I didn't care.
Hang on. Yes, the Church on Ruby Road.
Okay,
Do you want me to voice my views first?
go for it.
I loved it,
Okay.
and I genuinely really liked it. I thought it was great. I thought it was certainly my favourite of the four episodes thus far. I
Mm.
I really really liked it, and I especially like the little teases of mysteries. There were two that popped up, which no doubt we'll talk
Okay.
about. I
Yes, I
like
should
that.
think there's at least one.
Sorry.
I should think I can think of at least one that I've written down.
Yeah, and I like I yeah I liked it. I thought it was really good. I like her, the new companion, and I like the Doctor too. Even though I'm still sort of figuring out what his deal is. But yeah, I really liked it, and I'm very excited for the new series. Did you hate it?
No, I thought it was just a typical Doctor Who episode. It didn't really strike me as being all that good. It didn't strike me as being all that bad. I
Really?
thought it was. I thought it was about on par for Doctor Who.
When you say that, what do you mean?
I
Do
mean,
you
it,
mean it
it
was just like a solid Doctor Who episode?
it was just an episode. It's not one that I'm ever gonna pay. I'm not gonna necessarily look forward to watching it again, but I don't hate the fact that I've watched it.
Okay, I mean, I probably won't. I won't be rewatching it again, but it has made me excited for the new series. Has it made you excited for the new
Not
series?
no more so than I already was.
Okay, okay. Well, should we? Should we? I mean, I didn't make any notes because I'm fresh
Well,
off it. I know you
I make a
did.
point of making them because I never know. I don't
Okay.
want to forget stuff, but I
Well,
did as I told you in one of the messages prepping this. I didn't. It took me 20 minutes before I remembered that I was making notes, and I made notes because of one specific thing, and it was a verbal reaction that I had. And then I thought, shit, I need to write that down. Shit, I've not been writing anything down. So, yes.
okay. What was the thing? I'm curious.
Fucking Mavity.
Oh, yes, I well, I had that spoiled by Reddit. I
Oh,
was
okay.
on Reddit and I saw somebody had clipped it. I thought, oh, Jordan will be happy.
No, don't get me
That
wrong.
will
Don't
make
get me
his
wrong.
Christmas.
I,
They're
I,
sticking with that.
I respect the continuity, and I can live with the fact that they're respecting the continuity there. But of all the things to fucking do,
Yeah,
it's
it's
funny the first time, right? Maybe funny the second time. At this point, it's worn thin.
I think they're a bit too far in to drop it now, aren't they?
Well, no, that's the thing. They've overcommitted to it.
Yes, they're too deep in. You can't really turn back at this point. You have to have an
No,
episode where they rectify it.
or it's that way forever. And I desperately hope it's not that way forever because it's just stupid.
How often can they say it?
You'd be surprised.
If it comes up once every episode, I doubt it. If it comes up once every other episode, it's more likely,
What's
I
going to
think.
happen is they're going to be up against a villain who's the Mavity monster or something,
Yes,
and that's going to be the Bad Wolf
he's
Torchwood Howard Saxon thing.
gonna turn off Earth's gravity
Yes, and everyone's going
for
to
reasons.
yes, stupid reasons to do with breaking the gravitational field of
Well, I'm just glad Sherry.
reversing. They want to reverse the molarity
Yes,
of of it's just
I'm just glad Sherry got her tea, or Cherry got her
I
tea.
you know what I wrote down. Cherry loves her tea.
Yes.
And she does, doesn't she? She fucking loves that tea. What was it? It was the line, "Can't get a cup of tea for love nor money round here,"
Yes.
or something. That's what made me think. Yep, she loves her tea, and I like her. I think she knows what's going on. Not that she doesn't know what's going on. She ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. But at the same
She
time,
doesn't
she
care. That's her right. She's too old to give a
she's
shit. She just wants
she's
her
old.
tea and to
She's
be left alone, please.
she's old. She's clearly unwell because of the fact that she's advancing. I think there's something at the start about how they've moved down there because of that,
Yeah, she's
right?
getting ill.
You know, and that happens. And the fact that they fucking She just wants a fucking cup of tea, and I can relate to it because if there's anything we've learned from Doctor Who, is how helpful a cup of tea can be.
Yes,
Mm.
even though ironically I don't like tea.
Well, you've clearly are weird. Next,
Hmm. Um, I like that setup, that family setup. It's a
which one?
the rubies.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I like it as a companion home setup. I like all the characters. Obviously,
okay.
we talked about Cherry. We like her, but
Hmm.
I like her mum as well, whose name I have can't remember. What was it?
I can't remember. I didn't write it down.
Matilda or something. I don't know. But
I,
I like that setup. That's a very
I,
endearing pair of characters.
I was particularly impressed with the presentation of the swap in when it went from, "Hey, I'm this really happy foster parent that does all this fostering and I fucking love
Yeah.
it," to "I'm in it for the money.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about." That switch. That because it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's just they're just two opposites of
It's
the
very
scale, right?
it's
But
basic, but it's well executed.
it was incredibly well executed. So I
I
enjoyed that.
like the lighting and the set design in
Mm,
those scenes because everything seems so much bleaker
yeah,
almost immediately, and
yeah.
it makes the when you go back and everything's normal, it makes you appreciate how bright and happy everything seems.
And in a way, that is a sort of "It's a Wonderful Life" subplot,
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, yeah,
which obviously is a very festive thing. Or if you prefer, Richie Rich.
yes. What should we talk about the Goblin song?
Yeah, fine.
What did you make of the Goblin song?
Well, I'd heard it before,
Mm.
so and I wasn't overly enamored by it, but it felt all fine in context, and actually felt less fine in context having seen it.
I I I didn't know whether I was going to love it or hate it, and I couldn't really make my mind up when I first
Okay.
listened to it because I liked the thing I liked about it. I mean, singing goblins, that's sort of a creepy folklore thing. That sort of made sense to me, and I like that as a reference to sort of ye olde
Mm.
folklore, singing sinister creatures. Um, and I liked the fact it mentioned baby blood and baby bones and baby butter for the baby scones. I thought that was
Scones.
scone. Fuck off. We're not doing that. We are not doing.
No, no, you know what? That's not how I normally do it, is it? Either. So you don't get to.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
just
Baby butter
the
for the
line
baby
from the song.
squans.
The line from the song
Oh,
afterwards is someone says they point out that it's scones.
well, that's how you know they're the villain because I said it wrong.
Yeah, they all said it wrong.
Yeah, I like that because it's. I mean, they're literally referencing like baby blood, and that's.
Yeah, I mean that's not fucking creepy at all, but you like that.
Well, I like it because it, 'cause it is creepy and it's a bit far gone, and you sort of expect Doctor Who maybe to be a bit more family friendly in that sort of context.
What at that time of day? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
Fucking
it's not.
7 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night.
It's creepy, and I like that. And I
It's
don't
what
even mind the Doctor and Ruby singing. On the whole, it works for me. I wish it wasn't quite so poppy, but I mean, that's more of a personal preference than anything really wrong with it. I'm basically fine with it.
oh,
Um,
it just
Although I did see a tweet from someone saying that something along the lines of, for those of us with family members who think Doctor Who is a bit naff these days, this is our personal 9/11.
hmm,
I
okay.
can't imagine how uncomfortable I would have been sitting there with my family watching that and thinking, no, I like this show. It's not shit. Because I can see it being a bit
It's not the
cringy.
best. It was cringy. Cringy is the
I get
exact
that.
right
I
word
did
to
feel a
describe
bit
it.
cringy, but I
It,
didn't mind it too much.
you know that song? Do you know where it got in the charts?
Like four, did it?
No, fucking not that high.
Well, it was for a
Jesus.
time, wasn't it?
In terms of the times that matter when they
Oh
report it
right,
on Friday, which is the only time it ever fucking matters, is
9.
is on the Friday. He made it to 12th.
It's all right.
12th is its peak so far. This, of course, being something that was announced on Friday before it was shown on the telly.
Mm,
So it may move up again.
I doubt it.
I doubt it as well, but it may move up because
Yeah.
it has probably been exposed to more people now.
Mm,
But that doesn't necessarily help its case. Uh,
yeah.
so yes, it's
But
just something to because there were some people thinking it might do really well, and I suppose 12 is really well when you consider all the songs that are out.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I'd check whilst we were on that topic because I
Well,
meant it before and I
I don't
forgot.
mind. I tell you something else I liked. Quite a few things I liked. I liked them
Huh?
when the doctor was sort of sussing out, sort of, not the science behind it, but the whole coincidence thing. How that fact, the logic behind it, how it
Mm.
worked, the rules of that, and it made sense to me in a way that I don't know.
Well, that's a coincidence because it didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Well, my impression was that sort of coincidence sort of makes the baby taste better. It's sort of like that's how I viewed it. It was sort of like peak baby meat or something. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
No, I don't.
Well,
But I've
I
never
know what
tried
I
to eat
mean.
a baby before, so you know.
I I know.
I know this is probably quite a niche thing, and I might be I might be the weird one here, but something tells me I'm not.
There was a bit where the doctor was looking at um the baby for a while with like a concerned expression on his face, and I just thought to myself, he's going, "Oh yeah, that baby does look pretty tasty." Um,
I noted that I mean the baby made some noise, right?
yeah,
Why in front of a doctor? Yeah,
yeah.
we never got a single translated bit of baby speak.
It's because it's not words.
No, 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 no. There haven't been words before, and the doctor still translated. And it's an
Explain.
episode. It's an episode that I don't think you'd have
Oh, is
seen,
it the
which is
one
probably
with
why
James
they're confused.
Corden?
One of the ones with James Corden because he's in two.
Right.
Because they couldn't possibly fuck it up more, could they? But no, the second one I think it is with James Corden and I believe Auntie Mabel.
I believe I have seen that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he translates
Is
the
it called
baby
Closing
talking.
Time?
It could well be called Closing Time,
Because I'm pretty sure I saw that.
and
Um,
he translates the baby's noises
huh.
because he can speak baby. But it's not clarified at what point babies speak baby, right? But it's assumed that it's before they speak English or whatever appropriate language, because it's not just English that babies speak, is it? That people speak. But I was expecting it. I would have expected some sort of reference to it,
Well,
considering they've
uh,
done the stupid thing of fucking Mabity. They could at least have done a stupid thing like, and Lulu doesn't want to be eaten anyway. She told me, or something stupid like that. Because at least then it's an established
I guess.
proper, you know.
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I noted the fact that it didn't happen.
Well, my point with the coincidence law was that it was sort of interesting watching him work this stuff out, and it did make sense to me to an extent.
Okay.
Maybe it's just my old brain, but these newfangled Doctor Who episodes sure are complex, and maybe don't make an awful lot of sense a lot of the time. But it worked for me. Like, that there's something about coincidences that it's sort of the universe doing. I don't know, but it made sense to me, and I like watching him figure that out as opposed to just sort of knowing it.
Okay.
Um,
Fair enough.
so yeah, I liked that. Um, I also like seeing the Doctor in the club,
Okay.
just sort of dancing. It's a good sort of introductory scene for that character, even though it's obviously not the first time we've seen Shooty as the Doctor, but it sort of sums up, I think, him, and I hope we see more of that personality. But
Hmm.
I did like that. Um, I sort of wish they left us thinking Davina McCall had died. I think that would have
Yeah,
that would have been
that was
funny. We just
that also was a bit cringe.
was it
The end. Yeah, but
where he
very classic
saved her.
Davina McCall.
Yeah, I could. I suppose I wasn't cringe to me, but I think I would have preferred it if we just never saw her again, and maybe in a few episodes' time, there's like
A memorial
a
reference to
reference to Davina McCall's memorial service. The lights of the Big Brother house were dimmed.
the police are looking for her because that's who was on. Davina was on the phone to when she died. You
Yes,
know, what do you know about what happened?
yes,
You know,
yes.
they don't have the balls to kill anyone off. I've said
No,
this.
just let Davina McCall die. It would have
They wouldn't
been
even kill Davina. Just fucking
yeah.
not maim her. They don't mind maiming her,
Mm.
but killing her too far.
Um, I do have a couple of other points, but I sort of want you to talk for a bit because I reckon. Do you have any? Is there anything that screams out to you that you'd like to talk about for a little while?
I I want to talk about the Sonic.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the TV remote design.
No, I don't think many people. Well, I've heard people saying it looks good, but it's not a screwdriver. So they're fine
Well,
with
I
it
mean,
being like a device that the doctor has, but just
yeah,
not.
I mean, yeah, I think the screwdriver element is perhaps lost somewhat with that design. Calling it the Sonic makes sense. I can live with that,
Mm,
but referring to it as a Sonic screwdriver, I think pushes it a bit. Like the Doctor's gonna have some weird looking shit, right? But
yeah.
that ain't a fucking screwdriver. That ain't in it. You couldn't see that in someone's hand and think, oh, they might be holding a screwdriver if you're 50 feet away or whatever, you know. Whereas with the previous designs, it might look a little bit weird, what with the glowy elements of it, but you could at least mistake it for something that is screwdriver shaped, right?
Um,
But not this one. It reminds me of the TV remote from Click.
yes, I get that too. It sort of reminds. I'm sure there was. You know, what it sort of reminds me of, and this is a pretty niche reference.
Go on.
You know, in the episode Dalek, where
Yes.
the doctor's going through Henry Van Statten's got this little device and he doesn't know what it is, and the doctor points out, oh, it's a musical instrument. You just have to rub it the right way. It sort of
Well,
reminded me of that.
okay. Why don't we have a quick look and see if they are the same?
It probably doesn't
Because
look anything like.
I mean,
Uh,
it's possible that they do.
I I doubt it very much.
Musical instrument Dalek episode. Can't see what fucking. Where is it?
No, I remember what it was. It was like a little triangle thing with like a couple of lights on top.
Oh, okay. Because I
It
mean,
looks like
it wouldn't be that uncommon for them to reuse her.
no, it definitely wasn't the same prop, but it does sort of remind me vaguely. It's a bit big and clunky, and it looks a bit like a kid's toy. Um,
What, the instrument or the?
the screwdriver, the new screwdriver.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I see what you mean. Um, but it's distinctive. It may
It
well grow on
definitely
me.
it looks different. I'm not drawn to it as a
Mm.
hooray sort of thing.
Um, shall we talk about? Well, should we talk about the two mysteries that it raised?
Yeah. Go ahead with
Do you want
because
me to?
I can only think of one.
Which one can you think of?
Mrs. Flood,
Yes,
who is I just want to highlight played by Anita Dobson, who
Angie
was Angie
Watts.
Watts.
What the fuck is
Yes.
Angie Watts up to?
I mean, I'm assuming the Doctor never visited Albert Square whilst she was there, right?
Well, there
Because if
is
so, then
there
it's just that, right?
there is a Children in Need. Now that you mention it, it's not canon, but there is
It
a
might be now.
famously poorly regarded Children in Need special that came out in the early '90s called Dimensions in Time, which
Okay.
featured um, a number of different doctors and companions, sort of mixed and matched. Sort of, they were in Albert Square and like they were sort of trans. I don't. It's hard to explain, but you know, one
Okay.
minute it
But
was
was she in it?
no, she had left by that point,
Okay. Okay.
but it's
Okay.
entirely
Because
possible.
if she had been in it, then I would have said that is it. That's the joke. That's the whole situation.
I
Because that's a
don't.
kind of ridiculous thing. But the
That's
fact that
far too niche. All right,
it's the
no,
one with a wink at the end as well. I'm sure there was a wink.
Yeah, I don't know, but she definitely spoke to camera, and the fact she knew it was a TARDIS is noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean that's like I say, that's the thing that I wrote down. My actually, my thing is Mrs. Flood, Anita Dobson, Angie Watts. The fuck is she?
I just hope she sings. I hope we get
Oh,
an anyone can fall in love duet
you
between
know, I thought
her.
that was. I thought that might have been her.
Uh,
I bet
um.
it's in the fucking jukebox, isn't it?
Oh, possibly. It may be that she just references it. Um. But yeah, I think that, I mean, there's definitely something going on there. I would. It does sort of feel like one of those, like, well, sort of like you say, like a just a winky joke at the
The
end.
wink, the wink implies it to me, but that's
I don't know. The
just
fact she spoke to camera
yeah,
sort
but
of
that's
makes me think, oh, this is going to come back in some
oh,
capacity.
but it's also it's by talking to camera, it helps highlight that it's a joke. So it's
It
it's a
could
joke
well
to the
be.
audience,
It
isn't
could
it? That's
well be. I think they're going to revisit it. The fact it was a post-credit scene as well. There was no reason to.
no, they don't do that very often, do they?
No, I think it's definitely going to be called back to. I see what you mean. Um, I
Well, I mean, my assumption was that it was a like it's a plot leading up to something, right? But the acknowledgement that it could possibly be the fact that there has been something that it could be alluding to, even though it wouldn't make sense if she wasn't in it.
no, that's far too niche a reference. I mean, nobody's
I
fucking
mean,
talking about
let's
it.
be
Nobody's going to
honest.
look at that and go, "Oh, that's a nice Doctor in Dimensions in Time reference." It was long overdue. I don't
I
think
wonder if
anyone.
perhaps, I wonder if perhaps that has been viewed in a better light in response to recent seasons.
Would, oh, maybe I don't know.
People might look more kindly on it now that they've experienced Chibnall.
um, One of the things that sort of pops up for me quite a bit when I think about modern Doctor Who is what is the average person's relationship with aliens in this world? Because it seems to me like it's just a sort of thing that happens every now and then, and people are surprised by it. It's sort of like being in a hotel in, Kenya, and suddenly a pride of lions runs through the lobby. It's like that's surprising, but it, I can see how that happened.
I think that this is something that the show struggles with a bit
Yeah.
because they had a fucking okay, fine. It always gets explained away as something stupid, right?
Mm.
But people aren't that stupid, surely. Really.
I think the issue is you sort of want to keep it akin to our world. But the more alien invasions you have, you can't, your society would change drastically. That would affect
Yeah.
like government policy and everything,
Mm.
and just the way people view the world. And the more you have, the further away the Doctor Who Earth gets from our world, and that's difficult to
Well,
sort of
they've made
relate
they've made
to.
a very they've made a very big difference by establishing that it's called Mavity instead of Gravity. So
That's
it's not our
true.
world anymore, is it?
That's true.
It's a silly little thing.
But I think well, it's difficult because
If that's the established way to say that word, it's no
mm,
longer our universe.
it is difficult. I do think they should lead into it because I think it would just be interesting, like seeing Earth take its first steps to being part of the, galactic community, and that would be
On
interesting.
the road to the great and bountiful human empire.
Yes, yes, like these are the first steps. This is the sort of transition period where we know aliens exist. What do we do about it? There should be like I don't know. There probably has been a first contact episode. There probably hasn't, but it would be good to change up the status
There've
quo
been
of.
loads. There've
I
been loads
know.
of first contact episodes. It's just that they're not really ever first contact, and everyone forgets about them.
Well, yeah, I'd like to see a first contact episode where it's like we establish, a relationship with these aliens, and that's set in stone now. Like
I
from
just
this
realised.
going forward, the Earth has these alien friends, and every now and then they pop up and are mentioned just in conversation.
I've just realised it's 11 years real time since Van Statten's warehouse of alien artifacts got cemented up.
Yes, it is.
That was set in 2012.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh, How does it feel to? I like the fact that it happened 11 years ago, and I've only just, I've only just clocked it.
That's the problem with setting things 5 minutes in the future, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because it's only
yeah. I
five
mean,
minutes in the future.
same thing happened with Blade Runner. I think Blade Runner was like 2012
And
or
before you
something.
know it, when you've got a science fiction film in being made in 1986, it's like the far-flung future of 2002, where massive corporations rule everything, and the media is crooked, and
Oh,
oh wait a second.
they were about 2 years late.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the other mystery is who Ruby's mother is.
Oh, yeah, I didn't give a shit about that.
Well, it seems like it's definitely something they're going to revisit, and I wouldn't be surprised if the woman leaving her at the church was Ruby.
Oh, you get. Oh no.
If that somehow, you know, looped
Ugh.
around and was a thing. But who knows? It will be
No,
interesting.
it won't be. Do you know who it'll be?
The Rani.
Davina McCall.
That was my thought. What if Davina McCall is the mother, and she was just sort of covering her tracks and was like, "No, we
Mm,
couldn't find anything. I
There's
can't
no
acknowledge
evidence
you.
whatsoever.
It would ruin my career if
It's
the presenter of Long Lost Families had a long lost family that she had abandoned."
were you expecting the baby before we saw the baby to have been Ruby?
What, the baby, that the first
Lulu,
Lulabelle?
Lulu, yeah.
No.
I was sort of expecting it to be because I mean it's fucking time travel, right? So
Yeah.
they can do anything they want, really.
Mhm.
But I think it was meant to be a surprise, but it wasn't.
Uh, I don't know. I thought
And I'll be honest with you, they expressed quite clearly that it wasn't in one of the only ways you could probably get away with.
having it be a different race baby.
Yeah, yeah, it was a black baby as opposed to a
Yeah.
white. Like the most absolute clear cut way of saying this is not Ruby,
Yes.
this white woman,
Yes.
is because it's his black baby.
It's
So
very
I think it
clearly
was
not.
meant to be a. I think it was meant to be a. Oh, is it? Is it? No, it's definitely not. Okay, fair enough. Sort of moment. What if? What if? Oh, who? There was someone else who I thought it could have been. Oh, have you ever seen the show The Traitors?
Yes.
Yes, it's Claudia Winkleman.
Oh, I would love a Claudia Winkleman cameo in Doctor Who.
Well, they won't kill her off. Just be aware.
No, of course they won't. They should have done that. They should have just said, "Fuck it, Davina McCall is dead in this universe," and then
It
and
doesn't.
then explore the ramifications of it. And the series finale is we have to save Davina McCall, otherwise, the Earth's core will explode. A
And
chain
there'll
of
be
events.
no Mavity
It's
anymore.
the butterfly effect. For want of a Davina McCall, the Earth exploded.
Their version of Turn Left.
Yes. Davina McCall is key to it all. She's holding this all together.
And there's a Goblin song about how well, it's such a coincidence that she's the one person who, against all odds, ends up being the person who can save the world.
Yes.
No, yeah. I mean, we'll probably will find out who it is, but I think part of the scene where he went back
Hmm.
to save her was that he clearly made the decision that it didn't matter. Ruby didn't need to know who it was because
Or it
Ruby's
wasn't his
family.
business, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you see, I sort of don't want it to be a big important thing. You know,
No,
I prefer my companions like Rose, where
it's
she was just, a random 19-year-old who fell
it's
into
the
this.
thing we all wanted for Ray from Star Wars. Is that she was there was all the speculation that she might be a Skywalker or a Kenobi or
And
something,
she wasn't.
and
She was
then
a
and then
Palpatine, wasn't she?
well, yeah, yeah, but there was a point where she was specifically told that her parents were nobodies, and
Mm,
that, technically that's true, right? Technically, her parents were nobodies, but there was this whole thing where she wasn't anyone important. She was just a woman who lived in the universe,
mm.
right? And then it turned out she was Palpatine's granddaughter. But for that brief period of time, that was the perfect situation where you haven't got one of these handful of families dictating
Yes,
every thing that happens,
the
right?
universe does not. Everybody's not a
Revolve around.
Skywalker. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, You don't have to be one of these people to be a hero.
Yes.
And I suppose technically with your Han Solos and your Poe Damerons and all that, you don't have
Well,
that going
yeah.
on.
I mean, you
But
don't. I
you've got that core, haven't you? Of it all revolves around the
I
Skywalkers.
prefer. I mean, like I think most people, if not all of them, I prefer random people who become important. Like
Yeah.
any person off the street. Like
Even in a
Rose.
way,
Rose was a good, talented, decent person in her own right, as was Martha, as was
yeah.
Donna, and they became important rather than you know being. I don't even know what the fuck they did with like Amy and stuff.
I don't know really. Amy didn't really become important to anyone other than Rory, River, and the Doctor. I don't
Mm.
think.
Well, yeah, I think we may well have that mystery solved. That who Ruby's mother is. It would be weird
It's
if
Mrs. Blood.
it would be. What if she's Ruby all grown up?
Oh God, that would be.
I don't want that. I
I
want her.
don't even.
I want Anita Dobson to get a nice juicy part to play in this new series of Doctor Who.
Leslie Grantham's dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Oh well, we won't be getting him turned up then randomly
She was
as a
in.
postman or something delivering us some letters.
He was already in Doctor Who. She was in an episode of Inside Number Nine where she played. She and I can't remember his name, but he was a guy who was also in EastEnders for a bit. Played a pair of Cockney, old-timey gangsters, and I
Mm,
swear to God, if Leslie Grantham had been alive, they would have cast him, and that would have been great.
well,
Because I like references and fan service like that. So yeah,
that's not normally the sort of thing I see as fan service.
but I do think that I hope she has a part to play. I hope give her a good acting role. Give her something to do. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, yeah. Um,
Um, I do I
like
did
to
feel
be
like
beside the seaside. Go on.
I feel like there was a very clear he doesn't give any shits at all as to who sees the TARDIS leave.
Well, no, and I think
He doesn't care.
at this point, I mean, I mean, people have seen so many fucking aliens. I mean, they'll be a bit shocked by it, but it's part of their understanding of the universe now, isn't it?
Well, I feel like the reaction that we got from what was his name, Abdul.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she called him. I'm sure she called him Abdul or something like that.
Yeah, I when I
I think
watched,
his reaction is exactly the right reaction someone should have.
I
Right?
yes, I thought, I swear, because they sort of set up like this little petty rivalry between Anita Dobson and Abdul, and
Mm.
I sort of thought when she leaned in to say something, she was going to say, "I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see a thing." Are you all right? I think you might need to lie down. That would have been
It,
amusing.
that would have definitely been amusing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, I don't necessarily think he's ever cared about who
No,
sees it leave, but at the same time, it struck me as odd that they just doing it
well, I think,
back and forth doesn't matter.
yeah, I think I mean, before it was a case of nobody is going to believe you if you tell anybody about this, and at best, it's just going to be a nice little treat for you to see something this, bizarre and different.
Mm.
And nowadays, it's like, well, who the fuck cares? You saw a police box disappear. Okay, fair enough. Last week, everybody was trying to kill each other for no discernible reason.
Well, yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Why isn't there any lasting trauma of that?
Well, fuck
like,
knows. I
like,
sure as hell hope that they weren't fostering any kids.
I know, right? Just fucking beating a
Cherry
child.
would be on off
I
her
know.
fucking rocket.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think they kill? Was it like the Purge? Did they kill anybody? Was
Nah,
all crime, you know, temporarily sort of?
absolved.
Yeah. Did you? Was it a? Do the world governments grant permanent, full pardons to everybody for anything they did during that? Is there a
Everywhere
limit?
but Texas.
What if you? What if you like robbed a bank? I mean, how the
Well, I
economy?
suppose as long as the money went back, you'd probably get away
I
with
mean,
it.
how the
And just
economy didn't collapse? And it probably did. I don't know. I suppose if all the world governments just went like fuck it, let's put the normal rules of play to one side and get everything back on track. Uh, you know, that makes sense. But yes, do you have anything
Yeah.
else to add?
I've got a few things still. I've got
Oh,
four things
lovely.
I've written down still.
Well, I'd love to hear them.
We got a another occurrence of the Doctor's time traveler prejudice,
Yeah.
where previous, I believe the previous was talking about Captain Jack's vortex manipulator and how
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not. If the TARDIS is a sports car and that's a space hopper, I think is the comparison.
Well, fair enough,
Um,
really.
I mean, yeah, absolutely
I mean,
fair
that's
enough.
very crude in comparison to the TARDIS.
Um, and and he obviously had his little rant about how the goblins don't time travel.
Mm.
They you know,
Bumble? It's not Bimble?
bam, bimble, I think is the word.
Yes, they
Yeah,
just sort of, yeah.
it's not a word you hear often, that one.
No.
But no, it was again. That's a nice callback to a previous attitude that the Doctor has. So
Yeah.
you know,
Well, it
I
makes,
can
I mean, that
appreciate.
sort of Gallifreyan mindset. I mean, they were tantamount to gods, weren't they, really? I
Well, I
mean, they were
mean,
like taming black holes and, jumping from, they, it was mentioned in that parallel universe Cyberman episode that basically the Time Lords could do that. They just jumped from parallel universe to parallel universe as they pleased.
hmm.
Um, and even though the Doctor is sort of this sort of dropout dunce weirdo who just sort of bombs around on his own and rejects most, Gallifreyan social conventions, he's still a Time Lord. He still has that understanding of the power of his people. So, everything else just looks sort of very crude to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I like the reference. I dislike the attitude. I think is
Well,
it was nice to see. It was like I say, it was referring back to something, wasn't it? That
it's
that
just I
superiority
just sort of
complex.
well, it made sense to me, and I was sort of fine with it because
Yeah.
you know,
I quite like the Doctor's coat.
yeah, I don't remember it.
No, I quite like it. It's the brown, quite a light brown actually. I'd probably want it in something a bit darker myself, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, I
I
quite
mean
like
that
that coat.
that leather one. Yeah, I like it.
The rest of the get up, I'm not that fussed about, but the coat I quite like.
Well, I like
It's
the
very 70s, isn't it?
well. The implication is, I think, that he's going to change costumes quite frequently. That this Doctor will have no set look,
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
which I'm sort of. I mean, I like it to an extent, but my only reservation is it does make it harder for kids to cosplay.
Yeah, whereas something simple like
It's very easy to cosplay as David Tennant,
yeah,
which was one of his arguments behind that costume because Converse trainers are very easy to find and pinstripe suit stuff that's easy and just a long brown coat. Just very
mm.
easy to dress up as the Doctor.
See, I quite like Tennant's coat as well. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
What about long brown coats? Just do it for me, I guess.
yeah.
Not do it for me, but you know what I
Oh, what doesn't?
mean.
You throw a stone in any given direction, you're bound to hit something that'll do it for you, aren't
Look, don't because
you?
I've recently had that sort of a conversation with my partner, and
I thought you were going to
it's
say.
it's very eye opening.
I thought you were going to say don't because throwing stones really does it.
I didn't want to draw attention to it.
Jesus Christ.
Let he cast the first stone who won't get off on it.
Ugh.
Uh, um, uh, I've got two more things. One, the airship thing that the goblins were in,
Yeah,
and the ladder.
yeah.
Why the fuck were the rungs so far apart?
Were that? Yeah, I come to think of it,
Like it was about 2/3 of the height of a goblin in between each rung.
that's true.
That's not designed for the goblin. Why is it not designed for them?
Well, they can still climb it. I absolutely see your point. It
It
is an
doesn't.
it
It
is
doesn't seem suited to them.
it is an oversight.
I feel like it's because it closer rungs just means there's more of them, which means it's still possible for normal people to climb it, right? It
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah. Maybe they should have thought about that, but they
I
didn't.
feel like it's a design flaw. It's something that the set designers need to have considered better, and they didn't. And I feel disappointed that I
Mm,
noticed it and they didn't.
mm.
but not so much so that I'll kick him off first. It's something that I noted. I was like, why? But when we saw the goblin climbing up, and it was basically having to haul its whole body up there.
Mm,
I was like, hang on a minute, something's not right here.
well,
Um,
yes.
and then I think the most glaring thing, and it's something I'm surprised you've not mentioned. Have you got other things you wanted to mention, or are you done?
I can't think of
Okay.
anything. It's only
In that
recently
case,
that I've seen it, but I
shall
mean,
we shall we touch on the fact that it's basically Labyrinth?
I've never seen Labyrinth.
Have you not seen Labyrinth? Okay.
I know
The
there's
basic plot of
goblins and they
Labyrinth,
steal a baby for the Goblin King, and the girl has to get her back. And
that's pretty much the plot, yeah. And they're singing, and it's David
oh
Bowie, which
shit,
is
it is Labyrinth.
it's David it's Labyrinth.
Oh my god,
I mean, it's enough differences that you get away with it, but at the same time,
it is.
if you take the basic plot line,
It is very Labyrinth. You're right.
yeah. Now, there's not really much of a maze situation, which obviously is kind of a key element of Labyrinth. I don't think there's any time travel involved in Labyrinth, but at the core principle, Goblin's still baby for Goblin King.
Yeah.
Joe gets baby back. Go goes on adventure to get baby back. And to be fair, that was resolved like halfway through. But yeah, it was Labyrinth, and it was like the fourth thing I wrote down is this is Labyrinth.
Mm.
No, nothing wrong with Labyrinth. I love Labyrinth. I
No,
think it's a
that's
brilliant
fine.
film.
That's fine. Um,
It's good to see
yeah.
David Bowie acting because he was decent at it, all things considered.
Do you know who was the first choice for Elrond? Or I say he was the
No,
first choice, but I've heard that reportedly he was interested in the part.
I don't know. Will Smith.
No, no, David Bowie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I thought you said, "Do you know who?" I
Do you
didn't.
know
I was
he? Sorry, yeah,
sorry, that's fine.
he was in. Yeah. Um,
That's why I guessed because otherwise I would have just
mm,
said, "Oh wow, him."
I can't really think of anything else. I think I've covered everything I'd like to.
Well, there'll be something
I hope.
you'll remember.
Yeah. I mean, there is one thing I want to talk about. It's not episode specific. I like we get. Well, I hope Anita Dobson comes back. I like the mysteries. I wish Davina McCall had died.
Well, you got to
Um,
be careful how you phrase that.
yeah, I really like the episode. It got me excited in a way that Doctor Who hasn't excited me for a very long while, and I really like.
Oh, you got excited, did you?
Yes, and I'm very much.
Oh, you dirty bastard!
I'm very much willing to already to jump into this next series when it comes on in May. Now, speaking of which, have you seen the trailer?
No, and I deliberately didn't watch the trailer because I didn't want that to be in my mind whilst we were talking about this.
Do you want me to talk about it now?
No, I will watch it and we can talk about it on Thursday.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Um, I should probably rewatch it again anyway. But there are, I yeah, we can do like a point by point breakdown and be really
Oh, all right.
nerdy.
All
Uh,
right. Well, you'll probably be driving that because I'll watch it and just vaguely remember stuff.
yes. Um, I think that's it. So yeah,
Okay.
final thoughts. As I say, I like the episode a lot. I'm excited for Doctor Who again. Nice mysteries, like the companion, like the Doctor. More Anita Dobson, please.
Oh, it was all right.
Bye.
Bye.